guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a different type of video for y'all. I'm actually really excited to film this, and it's none other than the Booktube Newbie Tag. So I actually started this channel, fun fact, around 7 years ago when I was in high school, so I would have been around like 16, 17 at the time, and I actually did film this video 7 years ago. I think it's still up on my channel. It is definitely very cringe. I would not suggest you go watch it, but if you're looking to see how the old me looked like versus how I am today, then I leave that to your discretion. Really excited to do this challenge again. I always think that tags are really fun, and I know they're more like old school YouTube, but I always like watching other booktubers and just YouTubers in general do them, so I'm really excited. I'm also curious to know how my answers have changed, so maybe I'll go down memory lane at one point and look at that old video, but I will say I know it's very cringe. I know that the audio and video were pretty terrible, so I'm I'm a little hesitant to go down that route, but maybe one day. Let's get started. I just have my laptop down here, so I will be looking down at the questions. So number one is, why did you start this channel? So I'm going to give two answers. I'm going to give my original answer 7 years ago, what I think I would have said, and then I'm also going to give my today answer. So the reason why I originally started this channel back in high school is it was definitely a way to connect. I was feeling pretty isolated in high school. I didn't really have a lot of friends. I was really overweight. I was picked on a lot growing up. So for me, books was definitely a form of escapism, as I'm sure it is for a lot of people. And I just wanted a way to connect with other people online and maybe even make a friend or two. The reason why I started this channel again is a very different reason. And I think this is why I feel so confident about the success of my channel. And I don't necessarily mean in terms of like numbers or views. It's more about how it brings me genuine joy, and I'm not doing it as a way to fill a void in my life. I'm doing it as something that like genuinely brings me happiness, and I just love talking about my passions. Obviously, the past me was also genuinely passionate, but the difference is that I was really hung up on the numbers and the likes and the comments, and now it's not so much. I just like being here and talking to the 50 or 60 of you that are subscribed. Half of that are probably my family members, and then there's like 3 of you of my real life friends, so if you're watching, hey. But yeah, long story short, I started this channel just to have a good time and just talk about the things that I love. So question number 2 is, what are some fun and unique things you can bring to BookTube? I do feel like this is a cheesy answer, but I will say, I think bringing my unique self forward is probably the most unique thing I can bring, and I keep saying that word and I'm like, what's another word for unique? I don't know. But I think for me, what I bring to this community is I'm a pretty diverse individual, and what I mean by that is that I'm not usually stuck in one genre, whether it's music, whether it's film, TV shows, books. I like a wide variety of things, so I'm not going to be like your go-to romantasy person. I'm not going to be your go-to horror. I'm not going to be your go-to this or that. I kind of like a little bit of everything. There are some genres that I do tend to stay away from or I haven't read very often, but in general, I kind of am open to try anything, so I feel like that's like, in a way, like a unique thing where you'll basically catch me reading anything, and I feel like as my channel progresses, you'll see a lot of different types of content. I also have ADHD. It's something that I do want to make a topic on pretty shortly because I have done quite a bit of reading on it, but I do feel like having neurodivergent women in the booktube field is really important, and just in general, like it's something that's not really talked about and it's not commonly diagnosed in women, but I could go on a whole rant in typical ADHD fashion all about it, so I probably will save that for another video. Okay, next question is, what are you most excited about for this new channel? So I think what I'm most excited about, honestly, is just documenting my life where I'm at now. One thing I'm so grateful to earlier me is having those old videos, even though they're cringy, but it's such a time capsule into the past, being able to see how I used to act, how I used to think, and just seeing how much I've evolved now. It's one of those things that makes me jealous of those like lifestyle influencers. Like, I love watching them, but I am jealous of the fact that they've had so many years of their life online and they can just look back at any given point, and I don't have that kind of recollection. I don't have that documentation, so this is going to be a glimpse into my life, but I'm really just excited and eager to one day be able to look back on this and be proud. Question number 4 is, why do you love reading? So this has changed over the years, but in some ways there's been a constant that's always remained. I love reading simply because it allows me to escape into a world unlike my own. And I don't mean that in a depressing way, like I'm actually probably at the happiest point in my life now that I've ever been. But for me, what I like when I read is that I'm just not dealing with my problems. I'm not dealing with my own thoughts or opinions. I'm fully immersed in whatever story I'm thrown into. Sometimes it's a nonfiction read, so it's less immersive and it's more educational, but I've actually been in the last year or so picking up on nonfiction a lot more, and I'll probably have another video for that as to why I love my nonfiction reads. But with fiction specifically, it's so easy to just jump into the world of someone else's problems and situations, and I feel like I also learn a lot from how they navigate things, whether it's relationships or friendships or just difficult situations, hardships, what have you. Sometimes it's just guilty pleasure. Like right now, as I'm sure you've seen on my channel, I'm reading a lot of smut, I'm reading a lot of romance, so for that it's just guilty pleasure. I just simply want to rot my brain and read and not really think about life. 5 is, what book or series got you into reading? So this is an easy answer. I unfortunately don't have the copy with me here at my place. I think my parents have a copy, but I would say the book or series that really got me into avidly reading was The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. I'm sure you're all familiar with it. When I was in high school, it was bopping, the movies were coming out, like everybody and their mother was reading it, and I distinctly remember going camping and my dad had bought the trilogy for me and just reading them so quickly. I think I was like 15, and I was just so happy and so fully in this world that was not my own that I just wanted to read more. And then I had Divergent series, and then like whatever else was popular back in 2014, 2015, like I was on top of that, and it's sort of just built into this sort of obsession where now I donate books as much as I buy them, because those are two separate hobbies. Number 6, I like this one. It's what questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? This is a good one. I've never really thought about it before because I never really imagined that I would meet any of them, but I'm thinking of like Haley Pham as like a booktuber I really like. I think one of the questions I would ask if I met someone like her or anyone else, I would say, how do you find the good balance in your life when you're reading for fun versus reading for content? It's something that I've already noticed a little bit, even though I literally just like rebooted this channel 2 months ago, but I've already noticed that I'll catch myself reading, I'm like, oh, content idea, oh, I should film myself right now. And sometimes I just kind of like, whoa, chill, like I just want to vibe. I want to vibe right now. I don't want the screen. I don't want the like ADHD hyperfixation while like I'm like a mechanical mouse. You just kind of wind her up and she gone. So that's probably something I'd ask is about how do they like strike that balance. Number 7 is, what challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? Definitely getting fixated on the wrong things. So like fixated on the likes, fixated on the comments and the whatever. I think that's something that I will still struggle with. Not as much as I used to, but it's hard not to. I think especially when you put your whole heart into it, and with passion projects like these, I always put my whole heart into everything. So that'll be one part of it. And then I think the next challenge would definitely be consistency. Right now, I have a lot more time on my hands than normally in my life, so I know that I'll be able to post more consistently over the summer, but the question is like, will I feel that motivation sustained? Will that continue on in the next 6 to 8 months to a year, whatever? But honestly, the mindset I have with it now is like, whatever I pump out is what I pump out. Whoever watches it is the people that watch it. I adore all of you truly. I'm just so happy to be here, and there's nothing I'd rather be doing with my free time, honestly. So the next question I'm going to skip. It's just asking, when did I start reading? So I kind of already answered that. I would say like I started reading in elementary school, but not really avidly till high school. Number 9, where do you read? I read pretty much everywhere. I read on the couch, I read on the bed, I read outside. I'm in a parking lot. I've done audiobooks, which I will have to make a video on that one day because I have a video on my channel. I don't know if I archived it or not, where I just completely like trash audiobooks, and it's so funny because once I got diagnosed with ADHD, I got hyperfixated on that format of reading, and I absolutely love it. So sometimes I'll throw an audiobook like on a walk. Sometimes I even read when I'm walking, which I think is a little crazy, but I always make sure to do it safely. Like I'm not doing it when I cross the street. I'm only doing it like in trails and stuff, or if I know I have a big stretch of land before a traffic light. So basically anywhere. Number 10, what kind of books do you like to read? I kind of already answered this, but a little bit of everything. I would say if I had to name my top 3 favorite genres, not in any particular order, I would say literary fiction, historical fiction, and then my third, I think I would say, is fantasy. I love fantasy. I honestly have not read fantasy in a while, but I want to get back into it because it was such a good genre for me to fully get lost in. And then the last question, it says in brackets here, sometimes done, what does your book collection look like? I feel like this is a video in and of itself, but I guess I can give you guys a little preview. So my bookshelf is literally right beside where I was just filming. I only have 2 bookshelves at the moment. I don't know how well you can see. They are not like super duper organized at at the current moment, but I am hoping to do maybe a like bookshelf tour. I don't know if someone, like, I don't know if people would be interested in that. I guess like let me know if that's something you want to see. When I was living back at home with my parents, I had like 4 of these, and when I moved out like on my own, I was like, okay, I need to like relax and chill. So I got rid of a lot of books, like I donated them, and then I also kept some with my parents, like some of those like OG like Hunger Games, Divergent, Series of Unfortunate Events. Like my parents still have them, and I like one day when I have like my own place without a roommate, I'm probably gonna take some of them with me and then donate the rest, because genuinely I have a problem. I also have books here. Again, please excuse the mess on the desk because I was not planning on showing y'all this, but there's like a random stack of books here. These are like the most, like these 3 are the most recent books I bought in the haul I just have posted, so if you want to see more details on that. Normally they're not here, and it's just like these books here that I have. I really like it. Soon I'm going to be getting rid of this monitor, so I'm actually planning to do like a whole revamp of my desk and just put some more books there and maybe just something fun. All right, and that pretty much ends today's video. I'm so happy to be here. I genuinely can't wait to continue making videos for y'all. If there's something that one of you wants to see, definitely feel free to leave a comment below. I am always open to suggestions. All right, bye.